All right, let's just jump right in. We've all heard the phrase, your thoughts create your reality, right? But what if that's, I don't know, only half the story? What if your reality isn't just something you think into existence, but something that's actually grown from the very soil of your being? That's the powerful idea we're going to dig into today.
This is a question that really gets to the heart of it all. You look around and you see one person who just seems to have everything fall into place, right? Success just flows to them. And then there's someone else, just as smart, just as talented, and for them it's a constant uphill battle. So what's the real difference? The answer might be way more profound and honestly, a lot simpler than you think.
So, there's this entrepreneur and speaker, Owen Cook, who says vibrations are contagious. And when you think about it, it's so true. The state of being you're in, that's not just a private feeling you have inside your own head. No, it's a frequency you're broadcasting out into the world. You know what I mean? You walk into a room, you can feel the energy. You can instantly tell when someone's feeling confident or when they're anxious. That internal state, it's infectious, and it shapes every single interaction you have.
And let's be real, in the world we live in today, just protecting that state is a full-time job. Every notification, every news headline, every social media scroll, it's all trying to pull you down, to drain your internal resources. Owen Cook frames it perfectly. You are in a constant, relentless war for your state of being. And the stakes, they couldn't be higher.
This war is being fought on three main fronts. First, there's the war for your focus, because where your attention goes, your energy flows. Simple as that. Then, there's the war for your time, your most precious, absolutely finite resource. And finally, the war for momentum. You know, that incredible feeling where wins just start stacking on top of wins. Whoever or whatever controls these three things in your life, well, they control the results you get. Period.
So here's the bottom line. When your state is high, when you feel good, you are at the cause. You're the one making things happen, creating your circumstances. Life just feels easier. But when your state is low, you find yourself at the effect. You're just reacting, a victim of a world that feels like it's happening to you. It's the winner effect in action. Success creates the internal state that, you guessed it, creates even more success.
Okay, this is where it gets really, really interesting. So far, we've been looking at this through a lens of willpower and struggle. But what if we just zoom out for a second? What if the real key to mastering our inner world isn't some new hack, but it's been hidden right under our feet this whole time, in a blueprint as old as life itself?
Let's talk about mycelium. Now, thanks to the incredible work of mycologist Paul Stamets, we know that mycelium is this amazing, vast underground network of fungal threads. It's not just some kind of root system. It's an intelligent, communicative web that connects the entire forest floor. It is, quite literally, Earth's natural internet.
And here's the mind-blowing part. This branching network pattern, it isn't random. It's a universal design. You see the same structure in the architecture of the internet. You see it in the neural pathways of our own brains. And you even see it on a cosmic scale in how dark matter is organized. It's like it's a fundamental blueprint for how intelligence works in the universe.
And this is where it all clicks. This is the core idea. Just like mycelium needs very specific conditions in the soil to grow a mushroom, the right moisture, nutrients, pH, your life requires specific internal soil conditions for a certain reality to emerge. Your emotional baseline, your core beliefs about yourself, the people you're around, your focus, these are the conditions that determine what can even grow in your life.
And this is how it all comes together. You see, your internal state isn't passive, it's an active filter. If your soil is full of anxiety and a belief in scarcity, you're going to be hyper-aware of all the threats and limitations around you. But if your soil is one of confidence and abundance, you'll naturally start noticing opportunities everywhere. Your state literally dictates the possibilities you can even perceive and the actions you feel are natural to take.
Which leads us to the million-dollar question, doesn't it? If our reality grows out of our internal soil, how do we become better farmers? How do we actively cultivate a state that produces the life we actually want? Well, it turns out there are two powerful and very distinct paths we can take.
The first path, drawing from that Owen Cook philosophy, is basically a frontal assault. You change your internal state by aggressively changing your external world. You just take so much massive action that your old negative patterns don't even have room to breathe. You ruthlessly curate your environment, cutting out negative people and information, and you immerse yourself in a world that reinforces the state you want. It's all about changing yourself from the outside in. But then, there's another path, a biological one.
Paul Stamets' research points to the profound ability of certain compounds, like psilocybin found in mushrooms, to physically change the brain. And we're not just talking about a mindset shift here. He's talking about neurogenesis, the literal birth of new neurons and the creation of entirely new pathways. This is changing from the inside out.
And you can literally see the difference. On the left, you've got a brain scan on a placebo. You see those normal, efficient, but kind of rigid pathways. Now look at the right. A brain on psilocybin. Wow. It's an explosion of connectivity. Hundreds of new, robust pathways are linking parts of the brain that don't normally communicate. This is the biological foundation for a new perspective, for breaking out of those old mental ruts and literally creating a new mind.
As we start to wrap this up, it's so important to frame this journey in the right way. Whether it's through massive action or biological rewiring, this whole thing isn't about becoming someone else. As the great psychologist Carl Jung put it, it's about removing all the interference, the old patterns, the limiting beliefs, so that the person you were always meant to be can finally come through.
So the ultimate takeaway is this. You have agency. You are not just a passive spectator watching the movie of your life go by. You are the gardener. You are the architect of the inner world from which your entire outer world is built. You get to choose the conditions of your own soil.
So, I'll just leave you with this one final thought. If you are both the soil that nurtures and the seed that holds all the potential, the only real question left is, what will you choose to grow?